Hey, kia ora whānau. How's it going? This is a Kaitiaki Mara Kai update. Backyard gardens. As you will see, or maybe feel, and depending on what part of the country you're from, the sun's coming up and things are starting to warm up a little bit. And I'll just pan around to see my little heihei. My heihei's been working around the place. We lost one, and so go here. Oh. Buck buck, buck buck, buck buck. Hello, mate. Buck buck. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. Kiko nei. Buck buck. Yeah. Oh, you need a yeah. Hello, mate. So I've just done a bit of a tidy up on our garden. One of the beds, the Māra, and you would have seen in earlier shots I was using the heihei to prepare the soil. And I'll just turn this around so you can have a look. So it's actually in this stretch here and here. I did a little bit of work on it this morning. We're heading down to Tamaki Makaurau this afternoon, but let's get back in the shade. This morning we pulled out the longer weeds that the chicken hasn't been able to deal with and just raked it up. It's been tossing the soil. So if you have animals like that, pigs are good for doing that. If you're having a Māra that you're wanting to use, but don't let the pigs sit in that Māra more than 14 days. There's some kōrero on YouTube that you can see in some of the links below that I have. That anything longer than 14 days, they destroy the soil and it becomes quite toxic. So yeah, if you've got pigs, you can put them in the pen there and fence them off and let them use their snouts to toss the soil around. Or like what I've done, I've got a chicken to do that, and she's pooped in it, we've put compost in, we've put food waste in there, and it's broken down and she's gone and tossed it about as she's been hunting for worms. Even though she's eating worms, there's still plenty in there, and the soil is quite nice. And I'm just going to take out the longer weeds out of that and just rake it over nice and level, and I'll probably let it go in there a couple more times. So this is the kind of time now, as we're leading into spring, you're wanting to prep your ground ready for your Mara Kai later in the year in your planting. So you'll see over here we've still got vegetables in there. The last lot of cabbages are in the back there, and along here are my broccoli, and then just some of the other stuff is dying off. So I'm going to actually put some other stuff there, veggies. So I'm going to actually start letting the chicken run around in there and just start tossing up the soil and getting it ready. Now if you don't have animals, if you don't have animals like we do have here with this little heihei, you can put cardboard down. So if you've got, for example, see that patch of grass there, or weeds that have come through, you could lay cardboard down on top of it and eventually it'll die off, and then you'll just have the soil. If you look back into some of our videos of the past, you'll see that that's how we started our digless gardens on the Kōanga. Because we've got soil there that are high in clay, we had to firstly kill the weeds and the vegetation on top of the soil, and then we just added compost and grass clippings and food wastes and all that type of stuff. So use things that are organic. You could layer maybe grass clippings down. I tend to use cardboard or newspaper clippings or anything like that paper waste, because it breaks down. It doesn't, unlike plastic, you're going to need to take the plastic away. Although we did use plastics for our Mara Kai mō kumara. So when we did our kumara planting on the Kōanga, you would have seen the black plastic. So have a look back to those there in regards to if you're wanting to create a new patch, and you'll see how we did that in relationship to prepping the ground. It's going to take about 4 to 8 weeks for that soil, that grass to die off, but you just need to lift it up and have a look what it's like underneath, and then you'll know it'll be ready. But you can see how our heihei works away. Obviously, if we had more of them, they would do a bigger job, but actually I've found I do need to get another one just to give it a mate to hang out with. Just having the one, it's actually been quite easy to manage the garden that we've got over the back here, or that bed that we're getting ready to plant. If you look back again on some of the Mara Kai projects that we've done in the past, or clips we've done in the past, you'll see that the way that once I planted in here, I laid bark down, or mulching bark, pea straw on this side over here, and so we've been able to keep the weeds down quite well. The other thing that I did over here also is with this particular leaves, as the leaves fell from our trees, I just brought them in and just laid them out. So I don't really have too much weeds to contend with on this side. But as you can see by our heihei, where is she? I'll just turn this around. She's having a good little dig in here, and even though she's eating up worms, but the key part of you're wanting to happen, see how she's scraping the ground here? She's looking for her food, but she's tossing that bark around and soil around and just bringing up all the good stuff that's in there. And then I'll come back, look as she's done over here. I'll come back and then rake it up and just level it out. Yeah, anyway, so we're coming out of winter. It's really the last month of winter, and things are slowly starting to warm up, and so for now is the time, depending on what your weather conditions are, where you are in the soil conditions in relationship to how moist it is, Lord willing, we will see more warmer days as it starts to come. So now is the time to prepare the bed. Treat it like a whakapapa. Ka whakapapatia mai te whenua. Whakaritea ai te oneone. Ngā kai pai mo te whenua. We're just going to start layering down things now in regards to the soil and the conditions of the soil. And the first part, if you're wanting a good harvest later in the year, starting to put things back in. Some of the broccoli and the silver beet have all flowered, and I'll just let those die off and dig them back in, or mulch them up and put them in the compost bin, and then I'll add it to another area and then let the chicken do the whole thing over again. So for the next 4 to 8 weeks, it's all about preparing the soil. We've had some requests from some ladies that want to get going, and so we're going to looks like we're going to have 3 gardens starting soon, and so we'll help them out. Ko mātou and kuia in their Mara Kai. So yeah, whānau, we're starting to now start looking at coming into the springtime and getting our mara ready. So this is the first part of it, it's getting the soil ready and the beds ready. Remembering, as we've talked about before, in the preparation side of it, what's the size you want, thinking about what types of vegetables you want to grow in there, what's your water supply, because it does get warm up here in Northland. So if you're on land where there's no water supply or on tank water, think about how you might store extra water. There is no reason why we have droughts. We get plenty of rain. Look what we've had for the last month. I think according to the science we've had in July. There were only 5 days of that whole month that it didn't rain. So there's plenty of water. Our politicians use the scarcity of water as a fear thing in the summertime. It's just bad management. So the way you deal with that is you manage your own resources. Find ways of storing water yourself. If you don't have access to water like we do on our Kōanga, we have to have barrels. And so I put a barrel at the end of each mara and water it in the morning or late evening. So water supply, also your experience, what gardening experience you have. Do a YouTube check or a Facebook search, and you might find someone in your area that's just a little bit more experienced or does things. Mr. Google is really good in regards to giving you jungle tips. Our page can help you out. We've done 2 seasons now. We've had gardens, so we're just repeating it. But those are the same principles. What size you want, the size will depend on your experience. What types of things you want to grow, what's your experience, as I said, and your water resources. How will you keep your vegetables growing during the growing season in summer and so forth. Think about crop rotation. I'm going to have a look at what we can grow here, not wanting to grow too many things in the same space, so just thinking about moving those around. Now the other side of it too is I'm talking to our seedling growers, and so they'll be starting to get seedlings going, even if you do it yourself. If you've got a little kind of like a greenhouse area, or even just having some milk bottles or Coke bottles that are clear, or and just use those as a bit of a greenhouse to start your seedlings to grow. Because alongside preparing the soil, it's about now that you want to start thinking about planting your seedlings, so that by the time your soil's ready and it's warm enough to plant, you'll have seedlings there. If not, buddy up with someone. You might get up with some friends and family and buddy up with them and grow some seedlings together, and then you share them out. And then the last resources, if you can, is you can always go into the garden store or Mega Māra 10 or Bunnings or the warehouse and pick up some seedlings, because they're already there, ready to go. So yeah, hey, have a good time, whānau. Get out in the mara, get out in the fresh air. And this morning was nice, just to breathe fresh air and talk to my chicken. Hey, koe kai tēnā. Holy, I'm going to have to move it. It's starting to eat my cabbage, so I'll move it away. Anyway, whānau, this is Rewai Te Kahu and Kaitiaki Mara Kai, based up in Kaikohe. We're wanting to encourage whānau in their own food security and sustainability. We used to grow kai up here, and so it's time for us to get back into growing our vegetables and looking after ourselves. All right then. Give us a thumbs up and a like if you like this. Share it on to others, and if you're wanting to get a hold of us, just send us a message via the page that this is posted on. All right then, hei kona.